So we will be discussing a very important topic today. Can anyone tell me what we are going to discuss? Yes, Buddha? Yes, Buddha's teaching. Anyone else? Yeah. Teaching other people. What is the main thing we are here today? What do you want to listen?
Explaining gathas. Dhamma.
Okay, so we are here to discuss and listen to our harm's rule and get to know why we are respecting our parents. Okay? So maybe this discussion you may have had at your home, but we are going to discuss it today. Okay? So how we are going to do it is I have selected discussing with Hamzru and discussing with some of the kids. We have some gathas and we have some questions for Hamzru. Okay? So first we'll go through them and at the end I'll give you the chance to ask questions. So I invite first, let me exactly tell the names, Dinara Ranepura Hevage and Nubi Jayasuriya to start with the first gatha and the meaning.
Brahmati Mata Pitaro Puppachariyati Puchare Ahuneyacha Puttanang Pajaya Anukam Paka. Parents are said to be Brahma and first teachers. They're worthy of offerings dedicated to the gods from their children because of their love of the offspring.
Okay, I thank you so much. I invite Venerable Vinay Dhammathero to explain it a bit more further. So why do we want to respect our parents?
Okay, Most Venerable Nayakathera, Venerable monks, dear parents and children. So I'm going to explain this stanza briefly, what it means. Brahmati Mata Pitaru, which means parents are said to be Brahma. Have you heard this word, Brahma? Okay, some of them yes, some of no. Don't worry. Brahma means, in the Buddha's time, right, quite a long time ago, in ancient India, there is a belief among the people that they want to accompany with a Deva, almighty Deva called Brahma. Okay? Like Buddhists, that we want to reach the Nirvana. So some of those people thought to go to or accompanied with Brahma. So Brahma is a god who has 4 qualities. They're called Brahma Viharas, sublime states. Right? So What are those Brahma Viharas, sublime states? Is the first one, loving kindness. The Pali word is metta. Can you pronounce it? Metta. Okay, loving kindness or loving friendliness. And the second one is compassion, karuna. Third one is mudita, appreciative joy. The fourth one is upekha, equanimity. So when the Buddha heard about these people's belief, right? Can you remember what's that belief? To accompany with the Brahma, okay? Is a God, Almighty God. But when the Buddha heard this, you know what he said? Buddha said, why do you want to go to Brahma world or accompanied with Brahma? You have two Brahmas at your home. Right? Because you know who the Brahmas at home? Exactly. Parents. Why is that? Because parents have these four qualities. Right? Brahma Viharas towards the children. Right? Who has these four qualities? Parents. Okay? So let me explain these in brief. The first one, can you remember? Metta or loving kindness. Loving kindness means generally when we wish others' well-being, right? That's a nature of a true friend, right? True friend doesn't want to hurt someone or other friends, right? They genuinely wish others' well-being and happiness. So parents, they have this quality. They love to see some of the people's well-being. Do you know who they are? Children. The parents have this quality, metta, or the quality that they want to see, they genuinely wish to see whose success? Children's success, children's well-being. You know how it starts? It starts when you are at your mother's womb. Can you remember that? No, right? We can't remember that, but remember one thing, when you grow up especially, okay, when people grow up, they forget that. The fact that we were in mother's womb some time ago. You have to remember that very, very deeply in your heart. Right? If you, as long as you keep remember this, you can respect them. Okay, if you forget that, that's terrible. Okay? So when you are in mother's womb, they feel, oh, when we are going to see our child. Right? That's how they start developing the metta towards children. Right? So that's the first quality the parents have. The loving kindness. And not only that, when you are born, can you do things yourself? No, right? Literally, we can't do anything. Right? Right? And we can't do anything. So they do everything. So we have to keep it in our mind, especially when we grow up, right, what they have done for us. So that's what we call metta. mudita. Do you understand, you children, what I'm saying? Okay, that's really good. So the second one, can you remember the second quality? Karuna, compassion. Right? Compassion simply means that when we see some people in trouble, what good people feel. Compassion, right? We think, oh, that's a poor person. And sometimes we go forward and help them. You know, when children are in trouble, who are most worried? Exactly, yes, parents. And not only that, they are not just worried. They do their best to help the child, to recover the child. Right? They even sometimes they don't show how hardships that they go through. But still they are willing to help children. Right? So you have to remember that. Sometimes they are a little bit tough. Right? But why is that? Because they love you. Right? Okay, that's the second quality, karuna. And remember the third one. Anyone? Mudita. Right? What's the term in English for mudita? Appreciative joy. Right? Appreciative joy means when we see someone's success, if we feel happy, what do you call that? Joy, appreciative joy. It's not just a joy. We appreciate that success, that achievement. So we are happy. Dear children, do you know what is the opposite one? Anger.
Jealousy.
Exactly, yes, jealousy. They're jealous. Some people don't like to see others' success. They don't appreciate that. But remember, there are some people, they are extremely happy when they see someone's success. You know whose success? Yes. Right? When they see children's success, they're so happy. Right? That's what you call mudita. Right? No one does like parents. They are the ones who are genuinely happy about that, about your success. Do you know how that starts? That starts, well, when you are born. Can you talk? No, right? It takes some time. You know, parents are so happy when you speak first. When you utter some words, maybe mama, papa or something. Right? They're so happy to see that. That's how it starts. And throughout the life, they're so happy to see you as success. Right? Then the fourth one, upekha in Pali. Upekha means equanimity, which means the neutral mindset. It's a bit difficult to understand for children, but I'll try to explain as much as possible. We children, when you grow up, right? When we grow up one day, that we'll have to leave the parents. Right? We'll have to leave the parents. So it says in the text, when children grow up, then they are going to establish their life. Maybe getting married, you know. That's where they maintain the neutral mindset. Oh, they think, oh, now our children can do things their own, right? And they practice kind of equanimity. They are not so much sad about that. They have to be quite in the middle, not sad, not angry or something. Right? That's why we call parents Brahma. Brahmati Mata Pitaro. You understand, you children? We say parents Brahma because they have these great 4 qualities. Can you repeat? The first. All together? Metta. Once again, please. Metta. Loving kindness. The second one. All together. Karuna. Once again. Karuna. Compassion. The third one. That's 4th one. Mudita. All together? Mudita. Appreciative joy. Right? The 4th one? Upekka. Equanimity. So these are the 4 qualities. They are called sublime states. Simply great living. Okay? Then, Brahmati Mata Pitaro Pubbā Charyāti Uchchare. First teachers. Right? When we grow up, who are the ones who teach us how to eat, how to walk? Parents. Right? How to talk. Everything, right? They teach us everything. That's why we call them first teachers. Pubbācharya. Alright, dear children, do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. So, they are called Brahma, they are first teachers or Pubbācharya. Then, Brahmati Mata Pitaro Pubbācharyāti Vicchare Ahuneyācha Puttana. Remember, dear children, that's the quality, a virtue that has noble monks. Right? Even monks have that quality, ahune, which means they deserve, they are worthy of gifts. From whom? Can you guess?
Yes.
From whom? From? Parents deserve, parents are worthy of gifts from children. Yes. You know why? The reason, that's what I explained earlier, right? What they have done for the children. Right? That's why they are worthy of gifts from the children. Right? So when you grow up, that you can give the gifts. Right? But you have to remember one thing. Something material gifts, not highly valued in Buddhism. You can give those gifts, but you know what? That the best thing that you should give them?
Love.
Yes, that's good. Love.
Kindness.
Kindness. Yes, they are good. Yes, but there is something more important. Happiness. Yes, it's good also. If your parents not good at learning the teachings of the Buddha about the life, about the samsara, life circles, about the good behavior, moral behavior, if your parents don't know about these things, you have to teach them. Dear father, don't do that, that's not good. Something like that. When you grow up, right, you have to help them to develop these good qualities. right? Sila. You know sila? Moral behavior, good behavior, refrain from bad things. That behavior is called sila. So you have to help them to elevate, right? Or observe or protect the sila. You understand, children?
Yes.
And that's the best gift that you can give. Yes, of course, you can give the material gifts. That's fine. That's totally fine. But if you help them to develop good qualities in their hearts, right, that's the best gift that you can give. Right? Remember that as well. So, then the fourth one, they have love towards children. That's what simply it means. So, in this stanza, I explained very briefly 3 factors about feelings. And remember the first one? Yes. Well, the first line said Brahmati Mata Pitra, right? Parents are said to be Brahma. So I explained why the parents are called Brahmas, right? Remember, right? They have how many qualities? 4 qualities, right? They are called sublime states or Brahma Viharas, okay? Alright, then the second one, can you remember? Pubbashari. First teachers. They are the one who teach the first, right? How to walk, how to talk, and these things. And the third one, which I explained moments ago, they are worthy of gifts, right? So that's what the simple meaning of that stanza.
Wow, I'm surprised because you all, at least you were answering all the questions that Guru is asking, which is really, really good. I'm surprised by that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we go to the next Gatha. So I invite Madam Suvi Mulla and Sajid Arya Singha to recite those and say the simple meaning of it.
Therefore, an intelligent person should not be negligent, but honor and respect their parents with food, drink, clothing, and bedding, and by washing their feet, drying them, and massaging them.
Thank you for that. So, so what are some practical ways we can respect and show our gratitude to our parents?
Of course, that's a good question. As children, you have to learn that, right, as that stanza explains, how that we should honor our parents. Right? It explains some detailed meaning like giving food, drinks, bedding them, massaging them, right? And washing their feet, right? So it's very important to understand how, as children, that we can respect our parents. I guess that everyone knows how we respect our parents, right? We worship their feet, right? When you leave your house, maybe to school or somewhere else, right, you worship your parents. I know in Sri Lanka, back home, there are a lot of people do that. Almost every day they worship when they leave home. And not only that, when they are going to bed, they worship the parents. Right? So that's the number one way that you have to respect them, honor them. And then, yes, as children, you can't feed them, right? You can't give the food them because they're the one who provide everything. But you can do them when you grow up. And when you grow up, they may be quite old. Right? Oh, yes, of course. And when they are sick, right, you can help them. Right? You can give the food, you can go to the bed and console your mother or father by, massaging head or something like that. You still do them, right? Right? So these are the ways that you can show your love, show your respect, show your honor to the parents. But remember, when you grow up, right, keep it in your mind that you have to do a wonderful job, right? That's why I said you earlier, that you have to keep it in your mind how much sacrifices they have done for you, right? If you remember them, it'll be easy to pay them the respect back, right? But sometimes some children say about, oh, our parents don't do that, don't do this, right? Something like that. But remember, yes, maybe sometimes they may have done some mistakes. Yes, we all are humans. Sometimes we do some wrong things. But we have to be able to measure the good and bad. I'm not saying all the parents are so bad, but those who are seeing, right? So you have to measure what they have done for you and what not, right? So, and by doing that, by thinking deeply, we have to pay the debts, right? So that's what simply that stanza explains: giving food, giving drinks, giving clothes, and washing feet, right? So that's what I can explain very simply about that stanza.
Okay, I know it's hard to stay longer, right? So do you remember that I said it's going to be an interactive session? Does anyone want to say anything about you did recently to respect your parents? You moved the loan? Yeah, cool. Okay, that's good. Anyone else? How you have helped your parents, or have you?
So for my baby sister.
Wow, that's good. That's really good. Anything else? Unpack the dishwasher. Very good. Okay. Looks like you all are helping your parents, which is really good to see. Oh, yeah, nappies. Okay, that's good. Really good. Okay. So I think there are things not only for our children, there are things that Hamdru mentioned which are really important for all of us as grown-ups. So by that saying, I think we can go to the third Gatha. So I invite Minaya Devasinghe and Natalie Fernando to recite them.
We all have parents, and a child who looks after their parents well will provide food, accommodation, and opportunities to learn Buddha's teachings. We have to do it on our own. We should not rely on others to do it on our behalf. When we act the right way, we will get benefits as a good quality person, and we will get a joyful life in heaven, free from devils.
Thank you. I think you all by now realize how good all of our kids are with reciting gathas in Pali, right? Okay, so this gatha, I think, talks about something very important even for all the grown-ups and all of us, right? This is a dilemma that we all have. So we always think, by doing all of these, what do we get as a return, right? What do we get by doing all of these respectful behavior and doing all the things? What do we get? So, Ante, our question is, are there any benefit we get by fulfilling these duties as a child or as a grown-up?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. As that stanza explains, when some wise person respect parents or nurture the parents, give the food and all these things, all the respect, he'll be praised, appreciated, probably even any society, right? So one who do everything for the parents, they'll be praised, right? And not only that, as it explains, what happens when that person dies, where he get his next birth in heaven, right? So it's very important. And you know, when you help someone, especially your parents, right, you can be so happy about it. I personally know in Sri Lanka there were two sisters. Now they were quite old. Now they even didn't get married to look after their parents. You know? So there are some people even today, there are quite a lot of people, you know, they sacrifice their life to his parents. Right? That is appreciated by the Lord Buddha so highly. You know? That's why he said that. Right? When you pass away, that you will definitely you'll go to good place, heaven, when you look after your parents. Right? But I have to remember one thing which is not in that particular stanza. Dear children, what will happen if you misuse fire? Imagine in this building. Yes? Somebody.
It will burn the building down.
Yes. But if you misuse the fire, it will be disastrous, right? Even you could die even. And a lot of destructions. So some of the teachings of the Buddha explains like parents like fire. Right? Yes, we know that if we use the fire correctly, that we can get a lot of benefits, right? But if you misuse that, you will get a disaster. So like that, if some children, when they treat their parents quite well, as explained earlier, that they can be happy in this life, they'll be praised in this life by the wise people, and after their death they will definitely go to heaven or even human realm or higher deva realms. But if you treat them badly, it will be like misuse, what? Fire. You understand what I'm saying? Right, so remember, treat them always kindly and be compassionate them and honor them and respect them as always you could.
Okay, I'll also ask a question which is not mentioned previously. It looks like we have kind of prepared with the question. So this one I think came from some of the kids. As parents age, how can Buddhists fulfill their duty to take care of them? So I think we have recently seen some really good examples of how some of our parents in Dhamma school have given the care for their parents when they have grown older. So I think maybe we can slightly talk about how we can care for parents when they grow older.
Yes, when they grow old, that we know that they can't do things their own, right? They'll become just like small kids, right? So first of all, we have to remember what they have done for us, right? And we'll try to help them our best, right? If you have few siblings, you can share, I mean, time to time, one by one, you can share the duties and nurture the parents and do all the necessities for them. That's what I can tell you about that.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're very close to end our session, but we have some time for you to ask some questions. So we will perhaps take 2 or 3 questions from you if you have any questions regarding respecting your parents. Does anyone have any questions to ask or any thoughts to add? This could be even from parents as well. Remember, always a good question, or at least a question, will give you some good answers. Does anyone have any questions? Do you have any questions?
What could you do if your parents are like a dad, not very good at respecting child, like kids?
That's a very good question. Okay, right. I think because most people hasn't heard the question, so I'll repeat the question. Correct me if I'm saying it incorrectly. So the question is, if the parents are not respecting or somehow treating the kids in a good way, what can a child do?
Dear children, yes, sometimes some parents may do some, not maybe respectful for the children, but that we have to be able to measure, right, what they have done as you born, right? That when we are capable of speak, right, do things our own, before that you had to be looked after, you had to be nurtured to be able to at least speak or walk, right? So that we have to be able to compare what they have done and haven't. And if they want, they could have, thrown you away without nurturing you, giving the food and all these things. Am I right? Right? If they haven't done that, which means they're good. Right? Once a monk asked from the Buddha permission to go someplace where very, very bad people live. Then the Buddha asked, oh, when you go there, they will blame you. And how you react? Then that monk said, okay, if they blame me, I may think, okay, that they only blame me, they don't beat me. And the Buddha asked, okay, if they beat you, what would you do? Then he said, okay, if they beat me, they probably would beat me by hand, not by weapons or something. Right? And then the Buddha asked, okay, if they beat you with weapons, what would you do? Okay, as a monk, I know that I can practice my patience, compassion towards him, or something like that. Right? So you have to be very, very skillful in these kind of events and scenarios. Right? You should not rush to retaliate. Right? You should not rush to retaliate or do saying something back. You have to understand, sometimes even though we don't like, things happen bad for us. Right? If you are clever enough, you can think, okay, not only that incident, any other incident, if someone treats you badly, not only parents, anyone else, bully you or do something bad, right? There are some ways that we can think, right? As Buddhists, that we know things happen because of some reasons, right? When we do not know the teachings, we probably always point finger, oh, he did that, he does that for me, or something like that. But we had to think what we get, what we have done in the past. That's one of the reasons, right? So by thinking in these ways, that you can quite reduce the stress and the bad thoughts. So, however, what I can tell you is that always try to see the positive, the good, what they have done, instead of they haven't done, or if they do something bad.
Okay, I think that's a really good eye-opening question, because as parents also, maybe these are the questions we typically, every day in our classes, we get these kind of questions. So thank you so much for asking that question. If you give me the chance to add a little bit, so as Bante also said, so you can be a role model. You are learning these things, right? If you know Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekkha, you can be a role model at your house. So at the beginning of the discussion we said that if there's a parent like that, that's the best thing you can do, and then you can get that back in a good way. Okay? Alright, I think we can see almost it's time for you, but we're happy to take, if any questions, any burning questions, we're happy to take one more. No? Okay. I know. Because if you ask a question, it will take time to give the answer, right? Okay. So our last thing is, we're going to worship our parents. Do you all know the gathas to worship your parents? Can I see who knows? To say it in your own. Okay. Really good. Everybody knows that. Okay. So what we are going to do is, you will get some flowers from the Katina committee, and stay where you are. they will come and give you the flowers. So once we are ready, your parents will come into this room and then you can give that flower. Maybe this is the first time, or this may be, you may have done it several times. You can give those flowers to your parents, and we will all worship your parents by saying the gathas together. Okay?
දෙක ගාන දෙමු අම්මට
I think it's really good to see you all not making much noises. You stay here, which is really good to see.
So make sure everyone got 2 flowers.
Make sure you got 2 flowers.
Everyone got 2 flowers? You got 2? You need to tell her.
Okay. Everyone got your flowers? Okay, now don't break them. You can keep those flowers for several minutes because we want you to feel like you're giving it. Even though we got the flowers now, we'll let you keep them several minutes and then we can give those to your parents. Until your parents are getting ready, I'm going to ask Hamzru to explain why we worship with these stanzas, like the meaning of the gathas, very quickly, and then we can worship them, okay?
All right, dear children. So, what's the meaning of that the stanza that we recite when we worship our mother? Dasamasi urekatva posesi uddhikaranam. As I mentioned earlier, we all know that we were in our mother's room for some time. How long roughly, dear children? 9? Yes, 9 months, yes. So in this stanza it says Dasamasi, right? Almost 10 months. You stay in your mother's room. Dasamasi urekatva. Then posesi buddhikaranam, which means that she feeds you, right? Nurture you. Posesi buddhikaranam. So because of that, we wish to our mother to live more than 100 years. Dasamasi urekatva posesi uddhikaranam ayu digang vassa satam. May my beloved mother live more than 100 years. That's what we wish to when we worship our mother. And Matapadang namami, which means I worship my mother's feet. You got meaning? Right? Okay. Again, 10 months, almost 10 months, kept in your womb, the samasivare kappa, then posesi, feed and nurture. May you live long, more than 100 years. So I worship your feet. So that's what simple meaning. Okay, then the second one, which we used to worship our father. Uddhikaro alingitva chumbitva piyaputtakam. Right? Father also nurtures us. Uddhikaro alingitva. Alingitva means hug you. Right? And Uddhikaro alingitva. Chumbitva means kiss you. Right? Chumbitva piyaputtakam. Rajamajjang supatittam. That's a very important part. You know that when our Father is behind us, we are so confident. Hey children, do you listen to me? Right? When our Father is behind us, we don't fear anything. We don't feel, right? We don't afraid anything. And it says like, even among the kings, you can stand on your ground. Right? Because the Father gave you that confidence. Right? Rajamajjang supatittam pitupadang namami. Because of that, I worship my Father. So that's what the simple meaning of these two stanzas.
Okay, so far you may or may not have known the meaning of this, but today what we are going to do is, while you are worshipping your parents, you are going to think about the meaning. So not just the gatha, the words, think about the meaning of it, and then we are going to worship. So rather than you walk and find your parents, I would really like if the parents can come at least closer to the walls, so then your kids can easily find you. So please don't make much noises. We'll do it slowly, and I ask parents also to recite the gathas loudly, so everyone can hear it nicely.
Sudah putih. Ambil gambar. Ani tak peti.
දෙමව්පියෝ චුට්ටක් අහන්න අපි මේ මේ බුදුන්ගේ ඇතුලේ මේ තියෙන වෝල්ස් තුනේ පොලිමට හිටගත්තා නම් ළමයින්ට ලේසි වෙයි ළඟට ඇවිල්ලා වඳින්න. මේව රවුමට හිටින් කුෂන් ටික අයින් කරන්න. කුෂන් ටික චුට්ටක් අයින් කරලා
pen udah dikit.
පේරන්ට්ස්ලාට ඇතුළට එන්න පුළුවන් ඉතින් තියෙනවා.
ප්‍රබත් මෙහාට එන්න.
අපි පොඩ්ඩක් ශබ්දය අඩු කරලා හරි එහෙනම් අපි හැමෝම රෙඩි කියලා හිතනවා. හරි එහෙනම් අපි පටන් ගමු. මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා කිව්වා වගේ දෙමව්පියෝ සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න තමන්ගේ අම්මා තාත්තා සිහි කරලා අපි හයියෙන් කතාව කියමු එකට.
Let's recite all together.
You can give your flowers to your parents, whoever you are with now, and say sadhu again.
Worship your parents.
If you haven't done so, worship your parents. I hope you all know how to do that. Hondai, if you're done, can we please all silently, you don't have to sit, but wait a minute, stay still there for 1 or 2 minutes, and then we can finish it off.
අද දින අපේ පිළිවෙත් හැමදෙනාම එක්ක කියලා ඉතාමත් වටිනා උතුම් පින්කමක් සිද්ධ කරගත්තා. ඉතින් මම මතක් කරන්න මේ පින්කම පිළිබඳව අපේ යෝජනාකේ සහනි මහත්මයා මේක මම විශේෂයෙන් ස්තුති කරනවා. ඉතින් අද මේ පින්කමේ දායකත්වය සපයනවා මේ දායකත්වය සපයන පින්කම් බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. යාස්ථානයේ අතිපූජනීය නායක ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේගේ ඉදුණබර මෑණියන්ට ආශිර්වාද කරන්නට නිදුක් නිරෝගී සුව දීර්ඝාසී ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන්නට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම නමින් මේ පරිලෝකසපත් වන්නට යෙදුණු මේ මුලින් සඳහන් කළ වෛද්‍ය සාගරිකා මංචනායක මෑණියන්ට පුණ්‍ය අනුමෝදනා කරන්නට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. කටින සංවිධායක කමිටුවේ හා දායක සභාවේ සියලුම පවුල්වලට සෙත් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන්නට අද දින පින්කමට සහභාගී වූ සියලුම මව්දෙමව්පියන්ට දූ දරුවන්ට පින්කම සාර්ථක කරගන්නට සහයෝගය දැක්වපු සියලුම දෙනාට ආශිර්වාද කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා. ඉතින් අද බොහෝම සන්තෝෂයට පත්වන්නට මේ පින්වත් හැම දිනම ජීවිතේ ඊටාම දීර්ඝ කාලයක් හිතසුව පිණිස පවතින උදාර පින්කමක් පුණ්‍ය ශක්තියක් තමන්ගේ ජීවිතවලට එකතු කරගත්තා කියලා මේ ජනිත කරගත්තා වූ පුණ්‍ය ශක්තිය අප හැම දිනාටම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරන ධර්මාභෝධය පිණිස උපකාර වේවා සාදු අපි ඥාතින්ට දෙන්නු ඉදම්
මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදම් මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදම් මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ
දෙවියන්ට දෙන්නු
එත්තාවතාචයම්මේහි සම්බදං පුඤ්ඤ සම්පදං සබ්බේ දේවානුමෝදන්තු සබ්බ සම්පත්ති සිද්ධියා එත්තාවතාචයම්මේහි සම්බදං පුඤ්ඤ සම්පදං සබ්බේ දේවානුමෝදන්තු සබ්බ සම්පත්ති සිද්ධියා එත්තාවතාචම්මේහි සම්බදං පුඤ්ඤ සම්පදං සබ්බේ දේවානුමෝදන්තු සබ්බ සම්පත්ති සිද්ධියා
සාදු සාදු හැම දිනාටම පෙරවන් සරණයි.
බොතෙන් හොඳයි අද මේ දරුවන්ට ඉතාම වැදගත් වැඩසටහනක් සිදු කළ අපේ විනය ධම්ම අනිදහඳුරන් වහන්සේට අපි හැමදෙනාම මේ සිද්ධ කරගත්ත සියලුම කුසල ශක්තිය බලයෙන් උන්වහන්සේ කරගෙන යන ශාසනික කටයුතු හොඳින් කරගෙන යන්නට උන්වහන්සේට ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය ලැබේවා නිදුක් නිරෝගී සුවයම සැලසේවා කියලා අපි සාදු කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමු. ඒ වගේම මේ සම්බන්ධීකරණය කළ අපේ ඥානහර්ෂ මහත්මයාට සහභාගී වුණු දෙමව්පියන් සියලු දෙනාටමත් දරුවන්ට ඒ වගේ මේ වැඩසටහන සංවිධානය කළ 2023 වර්ෂයේ කටින දායක පින්වත් සෑම දිනාටම ත්‍රිවිධ ආශිර්වාද බලයෙන් සිත ශාන්තිය නිදුක් නිරෝගී සුවයම සැලසේවා කියලා අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරමු. ඉතින් අද හොඳ ධර්ම ශාලාවක් තුනන මේක ලොකෝම ලස්සනට කරන්න තියුණා. අපි අදිස්ථාන කරමු අපේ ඊළඟ ධර්ම ශාලාව හදන එක කොහොම හරි කරලා මේ වගේ වැඩසටහන් දරුවන්ට හොඳින් සිද්ධ කරන්නට අපි අදිස්ථානයක් ඇති කරගමු. සර්වන් සර්ණයි කාට.
හොඳයි තව චුට්ටක් ඉන්න තව පොඩි දේවල් ටිකක් තියෙනවා කියන්න අපි මම හිතන්නේ හාමුදුරන්ට වදින ගාතාවක් කියමු හාමුදුරුවෝ පිළිවෙත් වෙලා යන නිසා. සීලවන්තං ගුණවන්තං පුඤ්ඤක්කෙත්තං අනුත්තරං දුර්ලභේන මනාවත්තං වස්මිතුං වන්දිතුං වරං සාරිපුත්තාදි තේරාණං නාගතං පටිපාටියා සද්ධා සීල දයා වාසං පුත්‍ර පුත්තං නමාමි. තව කාරණා තුනක් තියෙනවා මතක් කරන්න. දරුවන් අරගෙන යන්න එපා. දරුවන්ට ලෑස්ති කරලා තියෙනවා පොඩි බීමක් කඩින කමිටුවේ. ඒකත් අරගෙනම යන්න. ඒ වගේම මතක් කරන්න තියෙනවා ෆුඩ් ස්ටෝල් එක. ෆුඩ් ස්ටෝල් එක තියෙනවා. ඒකෙන් ආහාර සල්පිල තියෙනවා. කෑම අරගෙන යන්න මතක් කරන්න.